This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. We were discussing about inheritance topic of OOPS concepts, right? So what is inheritance? Acquiring the properties of a class into another class. So using properties like variables or methods into another class is nothing but the concept of inheritance. What is the advantage of inheritance? So main advantage of the inheritance is reusability. If you have a class developed and it is having all the required methods for you once it is sophisticatedly developed, instead of rewriting the same methods, redefining the same class, we can use that class in another classes. That is the concept of inheritance. When we are talking about inheritance, there are two concepts we need to understand: has a relationship and is a relationship. Has a relationship means you can pass the object of one class into another class and you can use it there. Okay, we have seen an example like a car and engine object we try to pass to class constructor as a parameter, and we have seen one example with that one. Okay, easier relationship means inheriting or extending one class into another class. So we will be having all the properties of one class into another class. When we are discussing about easier relationship, we need to understand some types of inheritances. Okay, there are some types of inheritances available. There I have listed here. So single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid and cyclic inheritance. Of course, cyclic inheritance is not a valid inheritance. It will not work. Okay, but as a part of types, we have to see this one also. Single inheritance means it will have one parent class and one child class. It will have one parent class and one parent, one child class. Okay, parent class can also be called as a superclass or base class. Child class can also be called as derived class or subclass. Okay, so one parent class and one child class. This is very much straightforward, right? So let me quickly write one example. Say class parent, for example. So I'll define one method. Define method one, print, say m1 method. Okay, next class child. How to inherit one class into another class in Python? So if you want to inherit, what you have to do is you have to write the child class name, and in the parentheses you have to mention the parent class name this way. Okay, for now I am not writing any constructors, just I want to make it simple. So print m2 method, for example. Okay, now for example, if I create an object for parent, p equals to parent, what are the methods available for me in the p object? What are the methods available for me in the p object? Only m1 will be available. If you see the intelligence, if I say p dot, m1 is coming for me here. If I run this program, I can see the output as m1 method. Okay, if I create an object for child class, if I create an object for child class, child, sorry, c equals to child. So c dot, if I say how many methods are available here, m1 is available and m2 is also available. M1 is actually coming from the parent class, it is inherited. M2 is the method of child class, so I can call both the methods from object c. Okay, so if I run this now, I can see m1 method and m2 method, both I'm seeing here. Okay, maybe for better sharing and reference, I will add this to another file. Single inheritance example. Okay, this is pretty much clear, right? You don't have any questions, I think. Is there any difficulty in understanding this one? This example, single inheritance means we will be having only one parent class and only one child class. Okay, so if you are inheriting one class into another class, then this is known as a single inheritance concept. Okay, next let us see multi-level inheritance. Multi-level. I will add one more file, multi-level inheritance. Multi-level means maybe I can say in simple terms, deriving a new child class from another child class. Okay, let me write the statement. Uh, Writing or defining, maybe right word would be inheriting a child class from another child class. Okay, here one level child class will act as a parent class for the next level child class. So how it looks like is, so if I take a paintbrush, so for example, if this is parent class, one child class will be there. Okay, this is inherited like this. Again, this is single inheritance. Okay, if you are inheriting the inherited class into another class this way, okay, this is known as multi-level inheritance. Okay, here it's not mandatory to have only two levels. Here we have two levels of inheritance. We can have n number of levels here. Okay, not only two levels. You can inherit from parent to child to child, and child to another child. Like that, you can do n number of levels of inheritance. Okay, this is known as multi-level inheritance. If you want to see an example, maybe I can copy paste the same thing. So here instead of child, I'll say child 1. Now what I'll do here is I'll write one more child class, child 2. Okay, child 2 I will inherit from child 1. I'll define one more method, m3 print m3 method. Okay, just for our example sake, I'm writing only single print line statements here. Okay, now the question is, I got three classes here. Parent class I have, child 1 class I have, child 2 class I have. Okay, from parent to child 1 there is one inheritance, and the child 1 to child 2 there is inheritance. Okay, now we can see this as a multi-level inheritance. Okay, now for example, if I create an object for parent class, okay, p dot, if I say how many methods I'm getting only one method, that is m1 method. Okay, but if I create an object for child 1, c equals to child 1. Okay, c dot, how many methods I'm getting here, m1 and m2. M1 is actually coming from the parent class, m2 is coming from the child 1 class. Okay, so these two methods will be available for object c. Now I'll create an object for child 2, for example, c equals to child 2. If I say c dot, how many methods I'm seeing here? I'm seeing m1, m2, and m3. Three methods are available. M1 is coming from top parent class, m2 is coming from child 1 class, m3 is coming from child 2 class. I can call them from C, object C also. Okay, this is an example for multi-level inheritance. Let me run this file. Multi-level inheritance. M1 method, M2 method, and M3 method I'm getting. Okay, clear to everyone? Multi-level inheritance. It is straightforward and simple, right? Okay. Next inheritance is hierarchical inheritance. Yes, hierarchical inheritance. Like this one, I can say I'm writing like running notes only here. They are not the exact definitions. For definitions, you will get a notes. At the end, I will share one final notes. In real life, do we use this inheritance concept? Yes, we use. Maybe multi-level, up to multi-level we may not use, but single inheritance, of course, sometimes multi-level also we will use. Inheritance concept is important for us. We use in real time. We use it in real time, Ganesh. Okay. Hierarchical inheritance we are talking, right? In hierarchical inheritance, simple terms, I can say one parent and multiple child classes. Here, one parent class will be there and multiple child classes will be there. If you want to see a diagram kind of thing, maybe I can draw like this. One parent class will be there and multiple child classes will be there like this. Here not only two, we can have n number of child classes. This will be inherited to this one and this will be inherited to this one. Okay, this is the parent class, this is child class 1, this is child class 2. That way we will have the this is known as hierarchical inheritance. Okay, if you want to see the example, very simple example, I'll just copy this one. Hierarchical inheritance. Okay, here I'll say parent. Okay, see the example here. So parent class is there, child 1 class is there. To child 1 class, I'm inheriting the parent class. Okay, this is one inheritance. In the line number 7, I'm writing another class, that is child 2 class. I'm inheriting parent class to child 2 class again. Okay, now if I create an object for p for parent, okay, how many methods I'll get? In this example also, I'll get only one method, m1 method. Only m1 method is available in the parent class. If I create an object for child 1 class, if I want to create an object for child 1, okay, how many methods I'll get here? C dot m1 and m2. M1 is coming from parent class, M2 is coming from child 1 class itself. Okay, so that way I'll get M1 and M2. M3 will not be available here because we are not M3 is available in child 2 and it's not an object of child 2, or it is not inherited from the child 2. Okay, if I create another object, C2 equals to child 2, C2 dot, see here, when I say C2 dot inheritance, intelligence is suggesting me M1 and M3. Two methods are available. M1 I can use, sorry, it's a typing mistake. C2 dot M3. Okay, this is an example for hierarchical inheritance. Okay, is it clear? Next important inheritance. Here we need to understand few things. Multiple inheritance. Guys, if you have any questions, please stop me. I'm assuming it is very much straightforward, so I'm moving forward to the next level. Multiple inheritance, we need to understand a few things. So this is important. Please be with focus. Okay, multiple inheritance. Okay, multiple inheritance means having more than one parent classes, like inheriting multiple classes into single child class. Okay, multiple and multi-level, you don't get confused. Multi-level means the level, you can remember this word level. So multiple levels of inheritance will be there. Multiple means more classes will be there, more parent classes will be there. If you want to see as a diagram vertical format, like say this is class A, this is class B, for example. Okay, they are not coming properly, but yeah, this is class C, for example. Okay, we will inherit class A to class C and the class B to class C also. This is multiple inheritance. Multiple parent classes will be there for a child class. Here there are few important things we need to understand. So I'm stressing. So let me write one parent class. Say I'll say parent one, for example. I'll write one method here. Define m1 print m1 method. Okay, I'm copying this same thing. I want to have another parent class, so I'll say parent2. Okay, names we can give any name. Just for our convenience, I'm giving like that: parent1, parent2, child1, like this. Okay, class child. For example, I have a class child. How to do a multiple inheritance? If I want to inherit one class, how do we do that? We will do like in the parentheses we will provide the class name. If I want to provide multiple class names, comma separated values I have to provide here. Simple. Comma separated values I have to provide in the parentheses. Like I'll have one more method here. Define function 3 print m3 method. Okay. Now if I create an object for parent 1, if I create an object for parent 1, how many methods are there? Only one method is there, that is m1. If I create an object for parent 2, how many methods are there? Only one method, m2. Okay, if I create an object for child class, how many methods will be there? Three methods will be there. Okay, say for example c equals to child. I'm creating an object c dot. See here, intelligence is showing m1, m2 and m3. M1 c dot, m2 c dot, m3. Okay, if I run this till here, I think it's very much straightforward. Nothing to get confused, right? I got m1 method, m2 method, m3 method as output. Okay, in interviews, if they want to ask you some questions about inheritance topic, they will come to multiple inheritance only most of the times. Okay, the reason is they can trick you here. There are chances that they can ask some tricky questions here. Okay, so here in this example I have two parent classes, parent 1, parent 2. In parent 1, I have a method m1. In parent 2, I have a method m2. Okay. Child, of course, I have m3. That is a different case. Say, for example, I have m1 method only. Like even in parent 1 and even in parent 2, I have the method with same name. Here also I have the m1 method. Here also I have the m1 method. Of course, the definition of the function might be different. Here I'll print a m1 method. Here I'll print a m2 method. Now, if I call c dot m1, which one will be executed? Yes, Ganesh, yes, it's not mandatory to have this one. Okay, just to give you some example, I have written this method. It's not required. If you don't want, you don't have to declare any method. You don't have to declare any constructor. It will be inherited. Okay. So in this example, what would be the output? M1 method will be executed. Venkat Tarun is saying M1 will be executed. Like M1 method is the output. Tarun is saying this one. So any guesses? What would be the output for this method? This example? Which one will be considered? Both. M3. M3, Pranit, Why it will come M3? Why it will give M3? I'm not calling M3 anywhere, right? Don't get confused, brother. So I have a parent class, parent 1 class, M1 method is there. Parent 2 class, M1 method is there again. There are chances, right? I'm writing parent 1 class, someone is writing parent 2 class. There are chances that we will have different methods with same name. Done. Next, I'm inheriting both the classes, parent 1 and parent 2, to my child class. Okay, I'm inheriting. So I'll get all the properties and methods of parent 1 and parent 2. Both will be available. But I'm calling here c.m1. Will it give any ambiguity error, or will it accept? So which one will be executed? So here you have to understand this order. Okay, it's purely depends upon the order of the inheritance you provided here. Okay, so here parent 1 is the first one. So when I call c.m1, it will call the first one only. Multiple inheritance. See here, m1 method is the output. Whatever the class you are using in the first, okay, if you have any ambiguity situations like this, the first class method will be considered. Okay, say for example, if I have here also m1, what happens if I run this? What I got here? M3. Okay, don't get confused here. When you are calling a method, if that method is available in the child class, that will be executed. Child class will be the high priority, because that is the recent object for you. Okay, done. If that is not available here, and you followed multiple inheritance here, okay, multiple inheritance you followed, then whatever the class you are calling, the first here, the first inheritance part and the inheritance, the first class which one is available here, parent 1, that will be taken as high priority and its method will be executed. Okay, so for example, here I'll say m3 only, and here while inheriting I'll put here parent 2 comma parent 1, parent 2 comma parent 1. Now I will call c dot m1. Which one will be executed? c1 dot m1. Is m1 available in the child class? No, it's not available, so it will go to the parent classes. So what is the first parent class? Parent 2 is the first parent class. The definition order will be ignored. It doesn't matter which one is defined first. The important point here is the order it will consider is the order of inheritance. So which one is firstly inherited? Parent 2. So it will go to the parent 2 and m1 method will be executed. Okay, is it clear? So if I run this, m2 method will be the output. Correct, Tarun. You guessed correctly previously also. Guys, this point is very very important. The reason is it's an interview question. Okay, is it clear? Please let me know if you have any questions about this part. This is important. Clear? Okay, let's go to the next one, hybrid inheritance. Sure, sure, Ganesh. The point to remember here is, in the multiple inheritance case, multiple inheritance means for one child there will be multiple parent classes. Multiple parent classes you can inherit into one single child. How to do that? Using comma separated classes, you can provide multiple inheritance for the child class. In this example, parent 2 and parent 1 are inherited to child class. Okay, when okay, so all the methods of parent 1 and all the methods of parent 2 and all the methods of child will be available for the child class object. That is clear for us. The ambiguity situation comes when you have a method with the same name in both the classes. In both the parent classes, if you have a method with the same name, which one will be executed? That is the question. So that depends upon the order of the inheritance you provided here. Whatever the class you inherited first, that class method will be considered as high priority and that will be executed. Okay, that is a point you need to remember. Clear? Okay, next inheritance is hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance means it's a combination of single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical, multiple. If you are inheriting all different types of combinations, then that is known as a hybrid inheritance. Okay, we don't get that kind of situations. Uh, we will get very rarely. So if there is a situation you are following single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, if you have any such kind of combinations, then it is known as a hierarchical, hybrid inheritance. Okay, let me, I don't think I can draw proper diagram, but let me try. So for example, multi level inheritance is there. Okay, assume that this is multi level inheritance. Okay, this is multi level inheritance, and I want to have one single inheritance also. Assume that I have a single inheritance. Again, I'll have multi level inheritance. Sorry, multi level. So another level. Okay, another level here, and hierarchical inheritance also. Say for example, 1 2. Okay, randomly I'm drawing the diagram. So like this, if you have different combinations of inheritances, you can call it as a hybrid inheritance. It's a theoretical concept. uh, Theoretically we will say that, but actually practically it follows the rules based on the object you are creating, like for which class you are creating the object, and what are the classes that were inherited. Based on that, it will act accordingly. Okay, it's a theoretical concept for you. Next inheritance is the cyclic inheritance. It doesn't exist actually. So if someone wants to confuse you, they may ask you this. Okay, cyclic inheritance means if you are inheriting A class to B and again B class to A, so then that is known as a cyclic inheritance. Okay, it's a theoretical concept again. This won't work. Even this won't get compiled also. So let me write if you want to see. Cyclic. Say I have a class A and one method is there, define M1. Okay, I don't want to write anything for now here, pass I'll say. Again another class is there, class B, define say M2. Okay, for now I'm not writing anything here. Say for example, this is inherited from class A and this is inherited from class B. Okay, if you have any this kind of looping kind of inheritance, that is known as a cyclic inheritance. It's useless. Theoretically also it is not existing, and even practically also it will not be existed, because at the time of I'm declaring a class A inherit a class B is not available at this time. So it will give you error, unresolved reference B, it is saying. So if you write this way, this is cyclic inheritance, and you can remember this way, you should not write any cyclic inheritance. Okay, that way you can remember cyclic inheritance. Okay, you should not write any cyclic inheritance. Cyclic inheritance means interdependency kind of inheritance. A is inheriting B and B is inheriting A. If you have that kind of scenario, that is known as cyclic inheritance. Okay, so these are the different types of inheritances, uh, and let us see some examples to better understand few concepts. Okay, mm, we need to understand about constructors part. So how the constructors will be executed if we have constructor in both super class and child class, parent class and child class. Let us see. Uh, Say class parent. I'll take parent only. I have a constructor. Okay, print parent constructor. Okay, yes, I have a class here. Done. Class child inheriting parent. Okay, I'm inheriting this. Define one constructor, print child constructor. Done. Now, if I create an object for child class, I am creating an object for child class. Which constructor will be executed now? It's a question. So these are some cases we are discussing now. If you are good with these cases, we can say we are confident with the inheritance concept. Tell me which constructor will be executed. What would be the output for this program? Just give a guess whether it's wrong or right. Both will be executed. Mhm. What else? Both. Say for example, just to give you more clarity, I want to write one more method. Define maybe display method. Print maybe display method from parent. Okay, I'll write the same kind of method. Okay, I have a method display from child. For now, okay, for now maybe let us comment the constructor for our better understanding. Let us comment the constructor. There are no constructors written by the developer. If the developer has not written any constructor in the background, Python virtual machine will create one default constructor. Now, if I run this, what would be the output? We have already seen this example. Okay, so if you understand this one, you can understand the constructor part also. That's why I have written this example. So I have a parent class. One method is there, display method, display from parent. Child class is there. This is inheriting from the parent class. Here one method is there, display method, print display from child. If you notice, both the methods names are same. I have created an object for child class and I'm calling c dot display. Which one will be executed? Guys, you are getting confused here. Yeah, only one person answered correctly. So if I run this, which one? Inheritance one. See here, display from child, display from child. If you remember, when we discussed about multiple inheritance, what I told you, if this method is available in the child class, if a method is available in the child class, that will be considered, that will be the high priority for us. Okay, If that is not available here, then it will go and check for the parent class. Okay, so here in this case, c dot display, when you are calling, child class method will be executed. Okay, now the same thing will happen for constructor also. The same thing will happen for constructor also. Let me uncomment this. Okay, now I don't require this statement for this example. Now tell me, what is the output for this program? If I run this program, child constructor is the output for the program. So guys, remember, in the inheritance concept, when you are creating an object for the child class, or when you are calling a method of the child class which is already existing in the parent class, the high priority will be with the child class only. You have created an object for the child class, so the first priority will be child class only. If that is available in the child class, that will be executed. If in case that is not available, then only the parent class method will be executed. That you have to remember. Is this example clear to everyone? Is this example clear to everyone, or any doubts? It's the thing to remember only, right? There is no logic. The thing to remember is when you are calling a method inheritance to, the child class method will be the high priority for us. Okay, now I'm taking similar example only. Now uh, of course, we know, if I create an object for parent, if I create an object for parent, we know that parent um, parent constructor will be executed. If I say p equals to parent, there is no problem with the child, there is no dependency. I am creating an object for the parent class, so parent constructor will be executed. This is also straightforward. Okay, parent constructor is executed. Now my next question is, can I execute parent class method or parent class constructor inside the child class? Is it possible or not, is my question. So for example, if I create an object for child, let me create the object. For example, c equals to child. Okay, I got the object here. Now what what which constructor will be executed, and what would be the output for this program? The output is child constructor, right? That we know. So we are creating an object for the child class, and child class constructor will be called, and this is the output. It's clear. Whenever I'm creating an object for child class, I want to execute parent class constructor also. Is it possible? If yes, how to call that? Any idea? Okay, you need to remember, this is also an interview question. You need to remember one keyword, one method called super method. Super dot init. Okay, if you call super dot init, for example, inside the child class constructor, what happens is the parent class constructor will be called. So how it will be considered? In the child class constructor, you are saying super. So super means the parent of the child. Even in multi-level also, it will consider the immediate parent. So super means it's the child's parent. Parent is this one. So it will go and it will execute this method. Okay, in the same way, in the display method, I want to call this display method also. Okay, I want to execute both. First I want to execute, when I call c dot display, I want to execute first the parent display method, then I want to execute the new logic of the child display method. So what I can do here, I can say super method dot display. That's it. If I call this way, what happens when I say c dot display, for example? Okay, how this will be executed? C equals to child class. So we are creating an object. So whenever we are creating an object, constructor will be executed. Constructor for the child class will be executed. This part will be executed. In this one, the first line we have written is the line number 8. We are calling the parent class constructor. So parent class constructor will be executed. That means parent constructor will be printed in the console. Next, after line number 8, line number 9 will be executed. Child constructor will be printed. Okay, done. So this line is over. Next, it will go to line number 14. In the line number 14, we have mentioned c dot display method. So it will come here, c dot display method. This will be executed. In the first line of this one, what I'm doing here, super method dot display. Super method means the parent class of this child class. So its parent class is this one. So this one. So this method will be executed. Display from parent will be printed. Then line number 12 will be executed. Display from child will be printed. So if I run this program, I'll get 4 print statements. So parent constructor, child constructor, display from parent, display from child. Okay. So the importance of this program, the point to remember here is, in nutshell, super keyword, super method. If you understand super method, the purpose of the super method, I'm fine with this program. Is it clear? So in order to access parent class constructor or parent class methods in the child class also, if you want to do that, you have to use the super class. Clear? Any questions on this part? If we are good, I want to show one more example. Clear? Good. Let me show you one more example. Inheritance tree. I will add one file. Inheritance tree. Class parent. I'll declare a variable a equals to 10, for example. Define init. If I say parent dot a, I can print it, right? So if I say define some display method, print parent dot a. I don't require the constructor also. Just to simplify the example, let me write this way. Class child parent. I'll define one method. Define display 2, for example. Print parent dot a. I don't have any problem here. Say I'll create an object here. P equals to parent p dot display. Okay. Later I'll create c equals to child c dot display 2. Okay, what is the output for this program? What is the output for this program? I have a class parent. Okay, in the parent class I have a static variable a equals to 10. Then I have a method declared here, display. Okay, in this method I'm calling the static, I'm printing the static variable value parent dot a. Fine. I have a child class here. In the child class also I have one display method. Here also I'm printing parent dot a. Okay, parent is the class name, this one dot a is the variable name. I'm able to access a static variable of parent class inside the methods of parent class, and outside, I mean in the inherited method also I'm able to access. And outside of these two classes, if I create an object, there also I'm able to access. So if I say, for example, print p dot, not p dot, of course p with a also we can call, parent dot a, I'm able to call it. So how many times I'm calling? 3 times. So 3 times I'll get the a. Sorry, I'm running the wrong file. Run inheritance 3. So I got 10 10 10 10 fine. Okay. uh, yeah, the concept I want to tell you here is the access modifiers of Python. In other programming languages, we see access modifiers like public, private, and protected. Public, private, protected. Okay, these are the access modifiers we'll see. Public means we can use a variable everywhere. If you declare a variable as a public, we can use it everywhere. Private, if you declare only within the class only we can use it. Okay. If you declare a variable as protected, you can use it within the class, and in the inherited class also you can use it. Okay, so there are 3 types of access modifiers in other programming languages, but in Python we don't have that kind of a concept. Okay, if you declare a variable that is a public variable, that will be accessible from anywhere. Okay, as long as you are properly accessing it. Okay, private, generally we declare a variables like a, abc, xyz, like that. Okay, private variables, if you want to declare a private variables in Python, generally they will declare like a underscore a, underscore name, underscore, we use underscore character before the variable name. But there is no difference while accessing variable a and underscore variable in Python, underscore variable name. So both will act as a same in Python. There is no concept like sorry, it's a protected. It's a protected we call as underscore for. Okay, just for your understanding, we write this way, but there is no difference in Python. Okay, in Python, what differs is private variable. If you declare a variable as underscore underscore a, underscore underscore a, then this variable is private to the class. This is a private variable, so you can use it only within the class. Okay, and for methods also there is no concept like private, public, and protected. There is no concept like that. So once you have a method in one class, if you are inheriting that into another class, you can use it, no problem, it won't stop you. Okay, let us see. If I declare this variable as underscore underscore a. Okay, underscore underscore a, I have declared one variable. If I want to access that variable inside this the same class method, I can use it. I can use it like this, it will accept. Okay, this case is accepted, there is no problem. Okay, if I try to access here in the child class, parent dot underscore underscore, see, intelligence is not showing me a. Even if I add underscore underscore a by force, it's not showing any inheritance, I mean intelligence here. Okay, and outside of the classes, if I try to access, see here, parent dot underscore underscore a, if I run this program, I will get errors. See, I'm getting errors. Type object parent has no attribute underscore underscore a. Okay, only this method is executed, only this method is executed. This is failed, and program got exit. Even if you call this one also, if you comment this one and if you execute c.display2 also, it will fail. Okay, This is also an important question, dear friends. Like if one variable is declared like underscore underscore a underscore underscore name like that, that variable scope is limited. You can use that variable only within that class. When I say only within that class, in this class, if you have some methods, in that methods logic, you can use this variable. Okay, even if this class is inherited to another class, this variable will not be available here. Okay, and if you have created an object for parent class somewhere else, okay, there also if you are trying to access the static underscore underscore a variable, that will not be available. Okay, this is the point you need to remember. This is a private variable. Remember, like scope within same class only. Is it clear, guys? So only one different type of variables are there. They are like private variables that can be declared using underscore underscore and the variable name. That variable you can use only within that class only. If you want to have some specific purpose variable, you can do like that. Okay, next I need to talk about get set methods and get methods. I'll show you that example tomorrow. And next topic we'll be discussing is polymorphism. We are done with the inheritance concept. I think I have covered all the different examples. So we can see if we are missing anything. We will try some cases and we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Any questions, guys?